2009, Microsoft published two specifications and announced them at IBC. One of them was the protected interoperable file format, which was a profile of the ISO-based media file format that supported DRM interoperable encoding. And the other was, and also included a common encryption specification for a way that multiple DRMs could protect the same media content. We also published the smooth streaming transport protocol, and we did both of those because I had identified a stack of technologies that I felt were needed to create what you might call as a web television standard. In other words, a standard receiver for the reception of live and on-demand video, commercial video on the web. And at that time we came up with a list of about 6 different technologies that we felt had to be standardized. One was DRM interoperable encoding, the ability for multiple DRMs to decrypt the same content. Another was a adaptive streaming standard, a way to do media presentations. A third was a way for expressing both of those inside of HTML. And then the other two, one was for a client authentication protocol, a way to identify a client device, be it a tablet, a television set, any kind of device, to cryptographically identify it as something that's trusted for the commercial video delivery, essentially taking a set-top box away and replacing it with a stack of open standard technologies. So now what we're seeing this year is the common encryption standard, which is an ISO MPEG standard, which works with the ISO MPEG standard, especially two of the profiles, the live profile and the on-demand profile. The on-demand profile is the one that Netflix favors. The live profile is one that we favor, Microsoft does, which does live and on-demand video delivery. We also saw the beginning of 2 activities in the HTML working group. One is the encrypted media extensions, which is a specification that we proposed to the W3C for how to handle in a standard web page content that might require a DRM component in the platform. This was a submission that was made by Microsoft, Google, and Netflix in February, and has led to an activity in the W3C called the Media Extensions activity, which is creating specifications for commercial media extensions for standard browsers. The other 2 specifications that are being that have been developed, one is an OAuth 2.0 based authorization protocol, and then there's also a client authentication protocol that's under development. And the reason why this is significant is because you'll look in this room here, the people who are interested in Dash are also extremely interested in the ability for a television set or a tablet or a phone to just be able to stand up a receiver and point it at a web page and play commercial content without a native application, just being able to play that content. And that is enabled by having that complete stack, all the things I just described. And now in 2012, we've managed to create 2 of those critical specifications, the common encryption standard and the ISO MPEG-Dash standard, and we see the development in W3C of 2 other critical specifications with very wide support by the broadcaster industry, which is the encrypted media extensions and media source extensions. The authorization protocol is what the TV Everywhere industry is likely to adopt. And the reason why all of this is important, and I think this is the most important part, is because if you go to 1990, there was only one web page on Earth. In 1992, there were 26 web pages. And what changed all that was HTTP and HTML, but also Mosaic. In 1993, with the advent of Mosaic, you had a standard receiver for receiving web pages, and that took us from the walled garden era of curated web pages to an era where you had to discover web pages. By 1997, there were well over 1 million web pages. I believe that by creating a standard for commercial web video receivers, we'll go from the walled garden era, where you have either a single provider saying, come to my website, give us credentials, and we'll let you watch video, to a model where the long tail and mid-tier and vertical niche markets for web video will explode, and then it will enter the era where commercial web video discovery will become important. So that's it. That's our story.
We think Dash is an idea whose time has come, and clearly from the interest in the industry and you in this room, I think that reaffirms that.
Few companies, among the many companies who were doing the standardization, got together and thought that maybe we need to collaborate with each other to promote Dash in the marketplace.